Okay, so here we are. We're in the back garden and we're going to do an antenna comparison between this in the center, which is the stock Heltec antenna, and this beast, which is the 11.5 dBi antenna from Paradar, which I've hung up from a tree branch because it's too tall. It's 2 meters tall, and it's attached with 5 meters, or will be attached with 5 meters of RG400, whereas the little Heltec is just on the end of 1 meter of its standard cord. The setup is, I've got a software defined receiver and a laptop. And at the moment I'm transmitting on 868 megahertz from a stock Bobcat antenna, which is attached to a Rig Expert, which is pushing out a tiny amount of power, but we only need a tiny amount of power here to make this this comparison. So here we are, we're pushing out a tiny amount of power from the Bobcat antenna. It's going into the Heltec antenna, which has come down into my software defined receiver, and you can see the signal here between the red and the green cursor, and it's peaking at just over 95 dB, minus 95. So I'll give it minus 94 dB. Okay, I'm going to switch over antennas now and we'll see what the comparison is. Okay, so now we have the AirSpy connected through its 5 meters of cord, LMR 400, into the SDR and into the PC, and as you can see, the signal, I bumped the cursor, so it's, let me just move that back. The signal's between the red and the green now, and that is coming up at about minus 89 or minus 88. Okay, so if we take if we take 88 from 94, that would be 6 dB. So I'm getting 4 times the gain from this Paradar 11.5 dBi antenna than I am from the stock Heltec antenna. What does that mean? It's hard to say, because the stock Heltec antenna is said to be at 4 dB, which I don't believe, because looking at its construction, it's nothing like what you would expect. I would expect this is probably a 2 dB antenna maybe, for its length maximum. So obviously I'm getting a whole lot more gain out of my Paradar. Okay, so one of the things about these high gain antennas is they're very directional in the vertical sense. So for example, this is 2 meters long. The center of the antenna is about here, and the beam width is 4 degrees up and 4 degrees down. So it's important that the source be as close to in the middle for our measurements as possible. So I've done that, and I'll just bring you back now to what it's telling me, and the peak is in the order of, let me just adjust the screen angle here, the peak is more like, I'm seeing a peak at about 87. Okay, so 87 dB, so there's 3 to 90, that's 7 dB, so I'm getting probably 5 times the gain of that standard antenna. And here's the Paradar on the SWR at 868 megahertz with a bang on 1.2 on the end of 5 meters of LMR 400. And now for a sweep. Which looks pretty good, and you see we're at just 1.2 on this very coarse scale, and we see that if you're at 873 you'd be really low. That's the lowest. Let's see how Americans would do with this. There's 910, 915 or so. Gives you an SWR up about towards 1.5, so still pretty good. So certainly a very usable antenna, and if we can guess at what the Paradar antenna is. You know, I said it's 5. The gain on this 11.5 dB advertised antenna. If the small Heltec antenna is 2, then we're sort of bang on. But it's only a comparison. It's basically 5 times better than the stock antenna. So with the limitation that you have, of course, a much narrower beam width, but that kind of suits my my setup. Okay, here we have a 6 dBi antenna made by Cubify. Their model TQJ 800M. 800E, sorry. 6 dBi it says. Okay. And if we look at what we're getting from it, we can see that it's peaking at about 89 dBi. 89 to 90. Okay, we'll go and tabulate these results, and we'll take a look a little later, because it's getting cold out here. And you can just see now. There's the Heltec just below 868 megahertz, and poking its head up to about minus 90 to 92. Sorry, 92 to 94. Okay, here's the 6 dBi. Let's do a SWR measurement on it. 1.16, 1.17. That's pretty good. And now a sweep. Pardon the raindrops, it's just starting some very light rain. Oh, look at that, 1.2 to 1, and with a minimum up there. And I think, oh, that was the wrong frequency. So 868, the minimum is around 871. Let's just do that again. Okay, so overall the results: the Paradar 11.5 dBi, we proved it's tuned. Actually it's very usable on 868, less so on 915, and it turned in a 5 times stronger signal than the Heltec stock antenna. The Cubify 6 dBi, it's tuned as well, and will also work on 915. And its signal was about 2.3 times stronger than the Heltec. So the bottom line really is that the manufacturers claim gains are in the ballpark. Okay, they're both tuned antennas. I've used both of them actually, and they gave very good results. In particular, I'm still using the 11.5 dBi antenna, and that's producing between 0.5 and 0.9 helium per day. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and if you've got any questions, I'll be happy to answer in the comments below. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Okay, so overall the results, the Paradar 11.5 dBi, we proved it's tuned. Actually it's it's very usable on 868, less so on 915, and it turned in a 5 times stronger signal than the Heltec stock antenna. The Cubify 6 dBi, it's tuned as well and will also work on 915. And its signal was about 2.3 times stronger than the Heltec. So the bottom line really is that the manufacturers claim gains are in the ballpark. Okay, they're both tuned antennas. I've used both of them actually, and they gave very good results. In particular, I'm still using the 11.5 dBi antenna, and that's producing between 0.5 and 0.9 helium per day. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and if you've got any questions, I'll be happy to answer in the comments below. In the meantime, thanks for watching.